Good afternoon. My name is Denise Rayman, and I am the digital archivist at IUPUI. And I am joined today by 3 web archiving assistants, Lyndsey Blair, Claire Drone-Silvers, and Rhys Weber. And today we'd like to share with you some information on what we've been doing in the partially remote times at our library, which is building a web archive about COVID-19 in central Indiana. And furthermore, we've been building it on grant funding. So we'd like to share some wit and wisdom and experiences that can maybe help you if you are looking at doing a web archiving project under similar circumstances.
Hi, I'm Lyndsey Blair, and I'll give a brief background on the project. So in March 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and very quickly, like many other archives around the world, the Ruth Lilly Special Collections and Archives at IUPUI Library decided that we needed to create one as well, focusing specifically on Central Indiana's response to the pandemic. So in April 2020, we received a grant from the Central Indiana Community Foundation to create this web archive. And then the work has been going on since July 2020. And we have a projected end date of November 2021 when the grant runs out, and then also when it will be released to the public.
Collection development for a web archiving project, especially one with grant funding, will have both practical and ethical considerations to make regarding what will be included in a collection and what will not. On a practical level, the realities of data cost will force a team to set priorities for what kind of sites will be captured and how thorough such captures need to be. Alongside the amount of data crawled, the collection scope must be considered. In our case, we focus heavily on school websites, government organizations, nonprofits, and religious organizations. Your team will also need to have a discussion on what kind of data you aren't going to collect based on ethical grounds. A third concern is one of duplication. Will these sites that you're crawling also be captured by other organizations or through other avenues? Are there perhaps other sites in places more in danger of being lost?
Once you determine which seeds you're interested in crawling, you can set a seed type configuration that will broadly determine the direction and scope of each seed that is crawled. In order to capture specific documents, or to refrain from capturing excessive or unnecessary information, you can add seed scope rules, shown above, to each individual seed, or set limits on the crawl, like a data cap or time limit. It's especially important to run a test crawl for each seed before you permanently add a seed to the collection, so that you don't capture extraneous information that could consume too much of your data allotment.
Regarding web archiving, good quality assurance can be boiled down to 2 main goals. These goals are to capture as much relevant content and to exclude as much irrelevant content as possible. Another related objective for web archiving is a focus on crawl usability and accessibility. You should want your collection to be as accessible and usable as possible for future users. This means that text should be readable, menus functionable, and documents viewable.
Archivit formats its metadata interface using the Dublin Core metadata set. So we selected the appropriate elements when designing our collection level and seed level metadata. We also added a custom field, crawling technology used, as we changed crawlers partway through the project, and this affected some of our seeds. We are still working on adding metadata to all of our seeds, as this has been a lower priority aspect of the project than quality assurance and troubleshooting problematic seeds.
Last, I'll come back to the money aspect, which is how to run this on a grant. While a good budget is the foundation of a good grant application, it's nearly impossible to write a budget for something you've never done, but I did it anyway. One really interesting thing I learned for the first time, which is that Archivit has a very unique subscription model in that they don't delete your data. While you do subscribe to a certain amount of data for the year and it's use it or lose it, once it's saved, they never delete it. So if you're using this for a grant, you can use your grant funding to buy additional data under a subscription plan. And then when the grant runs out, stop paying for it, but it won't be deleted. While we went into this blind without any idea of how much data we were going to capture, you can use Archivit if you already have it set up to estimate a crawl size before committing. You can also use local tools like Web Recorder to estimate it to a local computer. However, by far and away, the biggest cost investment in a web archiving program is labor. Setting up and testing a single seed can take a half to a full hour for a simple website with no issues. And for a bad website with a very bad crawl that you have to troubleshoot, several hours. And the team spends about 20 to 25 hours per week just on quality assurance of seeds. This is a growing collection and will be growing until the grant ends in November. So we invite you to check it out. And please check out our handout for more detailed information and citations. Thanks for watching.